Okay, so we're going to do some pranayama because the weather is warm and it's still warm, and sometimes it's good to start off on the floor. So come into supta padangusthasana. Have the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall apart. Rest your hands on your lower ribs. If your head rolls back, then have a blanket for underneath your head. A folded blanket underneath your head, underneath the back of the neck. And then just allow the body to just rest into the floor. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. If there's discomfort in your hips from bringing the knees apart, then put blocks on the outsides of the thighs. Otherwise, just have your hands on your lower ribs and observe the shape of the chest as you inhale and as you exhale. Observing as you inhale how the chest accommodates the in-breath, how the chest expands to accommodate the in-breath, and how the chest accommodates the out-breath. Listen to the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. As you inhale, observe how perhaps you naturally inhale unevenly. Maybe one lung inflates more quickly than the other. Maybe it deflates more quickly than the other. Try and make it level. Try and consciously breathe into both lungs evenly and out of both lungs evenly. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Express conscious thanks for whatever it is that you're holding in your heart, and then consider something else for which you feel grateful. Expressing thanks and bring something else into your mind's eye that you are grateful for. Expressing thanks for something else in your life that you are thankful for, just building up this image of gratitude. Expressing thanks, and then something else in your life for which you are grateful. Allowing the feeling that when you bring that thing or person or place into mind, builds a feeling of gratitude in the heart area. Expressing thanks, and something else in your life for which you are grateful. Be a thing or a place or a person. And express thanks for having that thing or place or person in your life. And another thing for which you feel grateful. And consciously expressing thanks. And another thing for which you feel grateful. And then hold all of those things in your heart area. And express gratitude for having those things in your life. And then very gently bring your knees together. Have your feet apart and your knees together. Just rest in your hips. Just feeling that having expressed gratitude for all of those things in your life, that no matter the humbleness of our existence, we have plenty to be grateful for. towards your chest, and have a little rock from one side to the other, just resting your back onto the floor. And then get yourself a belt and then hook your feet into your belt and then stretch the legs up to the ceiling. So have the belt around the ball joint of your feet, and then hold onto the belt and then activate your legs like you're doing dandasana on the floor. So turn the fronts of the legs inwards, the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Pressing the lower back into the floor, extending your legs up to the ceiling. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, turning the fronts of the legs inwards, the backs of the legs outwards. Just continuing to fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying them from the top to the bottom. So a supported Viparita Karani, just a gentle inversion. Really activate the legs into the belt. Pull the belt down to the floor, but keep the legs straight, keep the legs activated. Keep the breath consciously even. Okay, slip your left foot out of the belt. Keep the belt around your right foot. Hold onto the belt with your right hand, and then lengthen your left leg along the floor. So really extend into that left leg. Turn the front of the thigh inwards. Get the back of the thigh to press down towards the floor. It's difficult to get that thigh onto the floor, but just try. Keep that right leg extending up towards the ceiling. Just continuing to listen to the sound of the in-breath and the sound of the out-breath. And then I want you to bring that right leg out to the side. Try and keep the big toe in line with your ear as you bring it out to the sides for supta padangusthasana 2. But then I want you to cheat a little and just bring that foot all the way down to the floor. So just the little toe side of the foot touches the floor. Don't worry about the left foot for the moment. Just bring that right foot onto the floor, and then once it's on the floor, reactivate that left leg. Really extend into that left leg. Stretch your left arm out, and then look over the left arm. Look over towards the left arm. So it's like floor trikonasana. Turn the front of the right thigh from the big toe side to the little toe side, like we do in trikonasana. So you need a bit of extra floor space here. So holding onto the belt with the right hand, stretching out with the left hand. This also tells you what happens when you try and stick the front leg buttock bone outwards when you're in trikonasana. The front leg buttock bone should suck inwards. Draw the abdomen from the right to the left. Extend over to that left hand. Keep the legs extending deeply, especially that left leg. Breathing deeply, turning the abdomen from the left to the right. And then gently bring that right leg back up to the ceiling. Keep the belt around the right foot and then take hold of that the belt with the left hand. And then, don't worry too much about the left leg for the moment. Bring that right leg across the other way so that it comes over to the left side. Bring the big toe down onto the floor. And then once the foot is on the floor, reactivate the legs, really action the legs, really tighten the kneecaps, turn the thighs, then turn the abdomen away from the leg, turn the abdomen from the left to the right, stretch out into that right arm and look over towards the right arm. Keep the left leg really firmly activated and turn the abdomen from the left to the right. So it's like floor trikonasana and floor parivrtta trikonasana. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, keeping the breath even and deep. Keeping that left leg firmly activated, straightening the leg, lengthening from the hip into the heel. Okay, and then just bring that right leg back up to the ceiling. And then hook both feet into the belt and extend the legs up to the ceiling. So back in Viparita Karani. So that floor trikonasana, floor parivrtta trikonasana is a really good way to extend the body without leaving the floor. When the weather is hot like this, it's good to sometimes just adjust our practice to accommodate the heat. Of course, yoga was invented in a hot country, but we're not used to it in this country. We're not used to this warmth. So sometimes it's nice to just adjust our practice accordingly. And then release the right foot, keep the left leg in the belt and stretch that right leg along the floor. So supta, padangusthasana 1. Extend deeply into that right leg. Keep that left leg really straight. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So Andrew, I know you're not a big fan of trikonasana. So does trikonasana along the floor feel any better? That's a rhetorical question. But maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you just don't like it anyway. But doing it along the floor like this can be a really nice way to just learn to love the pose. Okay, take hold of both ends of the belt in the left hand. Keep your right hand on your hip and then try and get that big toe out in line with your ear as you bring it out to the side for supta padangusthasana 2. So this is where the leg is in the air, so it shouldn't be on the floor yet. Just bring that leg out to the side and then release the right leg a little so that you can bring that foot down onto the floor. So the little toe side of the foot comes onto the floor. And then reactivate that right leg. Reactivate the right leg really deeply. Stretch the right hand out to the right side and look over that right arm. So you can feel how this is trikonasana, can't you? Turn the abdomen from the left to the right. Look over the right hand. Keep the right leg really deeply activated. Extending from the hip into the heel. Feel how that left leg buttock bone needs to kind of suck inwards so that the hips can feel a little more even on the floor. They never feel entirely even, but they can feel a little more even on the floor. Pushing into the left leg, extending into the right arm. Okay, and then bring that leg back up to the ceiling. Take hold of the belt with the right hand, and then bring the leg over to the right side. Bring the foot all the way down onto the floor. Just let the right leg just soften. And once the foot is on the floor, then reactivate that left leg. Reactivate the right leg, reactivate the other leg. And then turn the abdomen from the right to the left. Look over stretch the left arm out to the side and look over. Keep the legs firmly activated, especially that leg that's free. Keep pushing from the hip into the heel. Keep the kneecap tightened and draw the abdomen across from the right to the left. So Parivrita Trikonasana. But one of the things about Parivrita Trikonasana is that sometimes it feels like it's a bit kind of difficult to balance. When we do it on the floor like this, there's no fear of falling over. Okay, and then gently bring that leg back up to the ceiling, and then bring both feet into the belt. Back into Viparita Karani, stretching the legs up to the ceiling, and then just feel how you have given the body space in the hips. The legs feel extended. And you can breathe evenly in through the nose and out through the nose. And then release the feet from the belt. Just roll onto your right side and then sit yourself up. Just come up into the seated position, just cross legs. And bring your hands onto your knees. So hold onto your knees and lift up into the heart area, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. So feel how you have stretched out the legs, stretched out the hips. Lift from the hips up into the armpits, up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Just filling your lungs from the bottom to the top, filling your lungs evenly, and emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom, emptying your lungs evenly. With an exhalation, turn to the right side, digging the back hand into the floor. You can always sit on something if you feel that you can't stay on the front edge of the seat bones. So sit on a folded blanket or on a cushion. Just draw in the abdomen from the left to the right. Holding on to that right knee with the left hand and sweeping the chest across. Feel that the seat bones remain level rather than bringing all of your weight onto the right seat bone. So direct the torso between the two hips to maintain that levelness. To the centre, hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. And then come around to the left side, digging the backhand into the floor, turning the abdomen, turning the ribs, turning the shoulders, maintaining levelness at the seat point. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Very gently come back to the centre. Just lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Feel that the upper body is full of lightness. If you've got a bad back, then stay at this stage. Just stay feeling that you are lifting the chest. You're keeping the chest long. If you can, then we're going to come forwards, but coming forwards by lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone. Just coming forwards a little at a time. If you're not sure about coming forwards, you can get some blocks for your hands and come forward on the blocks. These just keep you lifted in the chest. Keep lifting the chest, keep lifting the head, keep the front chest lifted and long. So you can creep the hands along the floor or use the blocks. Coming forwards, gently coming forwards, but all the time keeping the head lifted. Keeping the seat bones down, pressing the fingers into the floor, pressing the seat bones down. Coming forwards, and then if you can, create a couple of fists with your hands, and then bring your forehead down onto the fists. If your head doesn't reach the floor, then bring the fists onto a block, onto 2 blocks, onto however many blocks you need, so that you can connect the forehead to the fists. Or you can use a bolster, and if you can't reach, then you can use a bolster. And bring your head down onto the bolster. So just using whatever you need to bring the forehead down. Press the forehead into the fist into the forehead. So it becomes unclear which one is doing which. Just breathe in full, deep inhalations and exhalations. Pressing the forehead into the fist into the forehead, the area between the eyebrows. When you apply pressure onto that area of the forehead, then it consciously quietens the mind. And then raise your head. Come back to the centre, just hold onto your knees. Lift the chest and observe how the mind feels quiet and quieter and full of energy. How However you're crossing your legs, cross your legs the other way. So if you're doing half padmasana, bring the other leg onto the front. If you're doing just straightforward swastikasana, then cross your legs the kind of unnatural way. It will feel a bit odd. Hold onto your knees and lift up into the chest, driving the spine upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Fill the lungs from the bottom to the top, and then turn to the right side with the out breath, digging the back hand into the floor, feeling levelness at the seat bones, sweeping the chest across, sweeping the abdomen across. With full deep inhalations and exhalations. And then gently come back to the centre. Take a deep inhalation, and then with the following exhalation, turn to the left. And then again come back to the centre, hold onto the knees, elevate the heart area to the ceiling, feel that the shoulders come down away from your ears. Just spend a few moments feeling that the upper torso is full of lightness, principally from the air that you inflate into the lungs. And then again you can stay just lifting upwards, experiencing that lightness, or you can come forward using the blocks as you need to. Come forwards, just lengthening forwards. You can always do this with straight legs if it's better for you. Just coming forwards gently, pushing the hands into the floor, keeping the head lifted initially. And then create a couple of fists for your hands. And then notice you probably put the same fist on the top of the stack. So swap it around. Put the other fist on the top of the stack. And then come forwards. And bring the forehead down onto the fist. The upper fist. And push the fist into the forehead into the fist. Just breathing evenly, keeping the seat bones down as much as you can. So we're getting deep stretch, but with floor work, just bringing lightness and gentleness to the practice. Pressing the forehead into the fist into the forehead. Okay, and then lift your head. Just lift your head and then come back to the centre, hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down, just feeling that lightness within the head, that lightness within the upper body. Okay, we're going to come down onto a bolster, so just stretch your legs out and just have the bolster for your upper body, and then have a blanket for your head. Just make sure that it's folded well so that it's going to be even underneath your head. And then we're going to come back into supta padangusthasana. If supta padangusthasana doesn't feel good for you, you can just stretch your legs out. But otherwise, so we're sitting close to the end of the bolster. My bolster is quite old, and it's quite flat at the ends, so I can sit close to the bolster. But if you've got a newer bolster and it's really firm at the end, you might want to sit away from the bolster a little bit. Bring the feet apart. Bring the feet together, the knees apart, and then lift the chest and extend yourself along the bolster, having the folded blanket just for underneath the back of the neck and the head. And then have your hands out to the sides of the body, palms facing upwards. Connect the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just our classic gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness. So with the back on the bolster, maybe you notice how much the chest opens. So the bolster brings openness to the chest. And this is good for full, deep inhalations and exhalations. So again, just focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, filling them evenly. Allowing the chest to expand with the in-breath and contract with the out-breath, relax with the out-breath. Just take consciously deep in-breaths and deep out-breaths. So the first stage of ujjayi pranayama is just the filling of the lungs, the emptying of the lungs, bringing consciousness into that action. Just consciously breathing in, filling the lungs fully and emptying the lungs fully. letting the breath be normal. And then we'll move on to stage 2 of ujjayi pranayama, where the in-breath remains normal and we use slow, deep, deliberate, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty. So you'll know that the lungs are empty because the sound of the breath will stop, and then normal in-breaths. So just take a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, and then slow, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty. Normal in-breaths, slow, deep, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty. And then continuing with the exhalations, the longer exhalations, normal inhalations. Exhaling until the lungs are empty is an unusual sensation because we're not used to emptying the lungs completely, but we're cleaning the air out within the lungs. Consciously inhaling and consciously exhaling until the lungs are empty. And then just bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm. Just normal inhalations, normal exhalations. And then stay on the bolster, but stretch your legs out. Just stretch your legs out so you're doing effectively sirvasana, but with the chest still lifted on the bolster. So we can move into stage 3 of ujjayi pranayama, albeit briefly. We're going to move into stage 3 where it's just normal exhalations and slow, deep, steady inhalations, filling the lungs evenly, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, filling the lungs until the lungs are full and the sound of the breath stops. And then normal exhalations. the exhalations might feel a little longer than usual just because we've been doing ujjayi stage 2. Just go with that, but don't try and overextend the out breath. Just focus on the in breath. So a normal out breath, and then slow, deep, steady inhalation until the lungs are full and the sound of the breath stops. So normal exhalations. Filling the lungs until they're completely full on both sides, and then normal exhalations. Ujjayi pranayama is really beneficial for blood pressure, bringing high blood pressure down lower. It's good for quietening the brain. It's really good for relieving the brain from depression. So depression is something that just happens to everyone, obviously to different degrees. But just like catching a cold, you kind of get it, then you suffer for a little while, and then you get better. So Ujjayi pranayama is really good for calming the mind, bringing the mind into equilibrium, bringing balance to the body and to the mind and to the breath. So just complete the cycle of breath that you are on, and then return the breath back to a normal rhythm, starting with an out breath. Normal inhalations, normal exhalations. And then when you're ready, push the elbows into the floor. Bring your chest up. Try not to poke your head forwards as you bring yourself back up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs. Just observing the lightness of your energy. Hold onto your knees, take deep inhalations, deep exhalations. Take a deep inhalation, and then one more time turn to the right side. Digging the back hand into the bolster or into the floor, just so that you stay on the front edge of the sequence. Come back to the centre. Hold onto the knees, lift up into your chest, and then turn to the left. Just lengthening the spine upwards, using your abdomen to draw the body across from the right to the left. And then gently come back to the centre. Just remove the bolster from behind you. You have the folded blanket for your head. Put the bolster underneath your knees, just to really soften your lumbar. So come come down into shavasana. Just lay yourself down just for the last couple of minutes. Just releasing into the floor. So just make sure that the bolster feels comfortable underneath the backs of your knees. And then allow the body to relax. Let the body just completely release. Unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs, unhook them from the bones, so that the body becomes heavy on the floor. Feel your lungs from the bottom to the top. As you release into the floor, observe the lightness of your energy that releases from the bones and fills the muscles. Fills the muscles with healing energy. Radiating from the bones and into the organs. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes and into the fingertips and all the way up into the top of the head. Basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And when you are ready, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage of the spine. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just final cross legs with your hands in a masti. Final spinal lift. Bring your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the gentle extensions and the floor work and the pranayama bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin forwards and down to meet the chest. Spend a moment to Acknowledge the energy that you've created around the heart area, that feeling of gratitude and positivity that we create through our practice. And then send some of that positivity out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb, a gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So, some gentle practice, but hopefully you feel like you've really kind of given yourself good energy to put into your day. So, thank you very much for joining.